Okay. My name is Amanda Gerhart. Hey. Um, okay, so I definitely jotted down some notes and stuff like that, because I have no idea what I'm doing. So, first thing is to reflect on what you've learned as a result of completing this project, and what would you do differently for continual improvement on this or future portfolio projects. I would have started the first week. I know I've been like super busy with everything going on in my life, like my wedding and everything. But I think I really need to learn time management, and I know that's one of my flaws. So I would have started like that week, the very first week, and I I would have taken it like a little week by week, and then went over it the last week. Things that I've learned, um, you have to pay a lot of attention to detail and things that you're writing. Like that's something that I didn't even pay attention to in my first class first semester. Um, and then I also wrote down a couple other things. Um, I've learned that it takes a lot of time and patience because I did not know how to work the virtual library. And we know that I had issues with in-text citations, so hopefully they're better on this paper. I am praying. So I hope that I learned that. I hope that that's not too bad. And the resources on Bryan and Stratton Library is way different than Google. A lot better, actually. Once I got the hang of it, and I think I finally got the hang of it for this paper because all of my resources for this paper came off of that instead of Google. And I know I was struggling with that a lot, trying to find a topic and all that stuff, to do with accounting. So I've definitely learned a lot due to this project. So the next thing it says, identify and explain how the course and institutional outcomes were met on this project. And I jotted down a couple things. I had to pay attention to the type of document I was writing and the format I was writing in. That's something that I never paid attention to, or the audience. I discussed in posts before. I never really paid attention even to emails. And now I'm like critiquing others, which is actually kind of funny. I don't tell them to their face, but I do though. Grammar, my research, all of it, because Google is like the easiest thing to access, and I drove myself nuts with that virtual library. Another outcome that was met, was the APA, like I said, the in-text citations and stuff like that. Like, right, I mean, citing a source wasn't hard. It was the in-text citations that I was having the issues with. And the bibliography, the annotated bibliography format, that was interesting in summarizing them and making sure they're in alphabetical order and all that stuff. But I did revert back to the APA guidelines through Bryan and Stratton, and I had a printed copy this whole time and didn't even realize that I did. Bridal brain. I'm going to call it bridal brain. Then the third thing is describe how what you have learned throughout this course aligns with the dependability workplace capability. I can get something done on time and the way it's expected. Who would have thought? Can't even keep my dishes done. Um, especially with a kid. And done the way that it's expected to be done. I couldn't even write a memo, and now I can write a decent one, I would hope. And being dependable with class and all of my assignments and what's expected of me will help me out in the workplace and making sure that things that are expected of me get done on time. Choose one additional workplace capability from the table below and discuss the following. Okay, so I chose a couple different things. I did not choose just one. It says, explain your reasoning for choosing this workplace capability. Analyze the importance of these workplace capabilities in your future career. So, I chose actually persuasion, enthusiasm, technological literacy, informational literacy, and communication. And that's because all of them have to do with it. I can't even just pick one. I don't know who could just pick one, honestly. Um, all of them have something to do with it, and I probably could have picked more, but I'm not going to do that to myself. Um, persuasion, trying to write a persuasive memo to my boss about something, that was interesting. That's very important, and I had to learn how to do that. What if that comes up in the future? Enthusiasm, like, even if I'm not in a great mood, I'm still going to have to be enthusiastic at work and try to, like, get it together and keep it together and, be enthusiastic about things, technological literacy and informational literacy, making sure my information is legit and accurate, and my technological literacy, making sure everything's on point, everything's right. And communication. Am I communicating well? Am I watching my grammar? Am I watching punctuation? Am I watching who I'm writing to? Am I watching the format I'm writing in? All of that stuff I have to take into consideration now. And like I said, I could have picked a couple other things. I'm not going to do that to myself. But those are the top ones that I would say have to do with accounting. And I relate that to my job today because sometimes it's hard to be enthusiastic when you're at work and trying to keep it together and stuff when you have a lot of stuff going on and meeting deadlines and customers and all that stuff, but you have to find some kind of balance. So as a result of this project or this course, like, I've learned so much that's going to help me in the future, and hopefully my emails have gotten as good as I think that they have, and I stopped critiquing other people and telling them that they needed an apostrophe or something, but that's only the friends that I work with that are actually at my wedding, so I'm allowed to do that. But I've learned a lot that's going to definitely take me, I think, a little bit farther due to this class, and due to my instructor, Miss Ray. She is phenomenal and was always a big help, and you're amazing. 7.5 weeks is not long enough. I feel like I could have taken another 7.5, honestly. So that's all I got. Thanks. Happy semester.